Hello everyone, thank you for your patience. We are now in the third of 7 webinars today as part of the MOOC on quality in digital learning. I'm pleased to introduce Polona Sirnik, who's Communication Officer for the Center of Excellence in Finance based in Slovenia. I will be talking to us about an initiative called Learn for Dev, which stands for Digital Learning for Development and Change. So with no further ado, I'll pass on to you, Polona, to explain your initiative to us.
Yes, thank you very much. Actually, Learn for Dev stands for Learning for Development, and it is a network of organizations that cooperate in the field of competence development and learning for their staff through this network. So in my presentation, I will be first presenting shortly the Learn for Dev network and also digital opportunities, digital learning opportunities of the network. So I would just like to explain a little bit. I'm coming from the Center of Excellence in Finance, which is international organization headquartered in Slovenia, as Anthony said. And my organization is also one of the network's member organizations. Currently, we are contributing to the network by supporting communication activities. So just a short intro to know who we are. And now I would like to start with the presentation, which is structured in two parts. So the first part will talk about the Learn for Dev network, as I've said, and the second part about digital learning opportunities. So Learn for Dev stands for Learning for Development. As mentioned, member organizations are donor organizations that cooperate through the network in joint competence development and learning of their staff, all with the aim to improve aid and development effectiveness. So for the aid to be effective, donors need to harmonize their efforts and countries need to be in charge of their own development. And consensus on these priorities only increases the need for organizations to share development knowledge and experience and improve the competence of their staff. And the Learn for Dev network plays a critical role in ensuring this dialogue and learning among development practitioners. So what are the concrete objectives of the network? Firstly, efficient networking in the field of competence development and training for all staff categories. Then enhanced and efficient joint learning of staff at headquarters and on country level. And also cooperation in the field of e-learning and IT-based knowledge sharing, which is most relevant for this webinar series. This cooperation in the field of e-learning and IT-based knowledge sharing is very important as network members are from all over the world, come from all over the world. So, as you can see on the slide, there are many member states that are represented in the network through their international development cooperation departments and agencies. And there are also international and multilateral organizations one of them being CEF, then European Commission represented through Europaid, FAO, IDEA, IOM, ITC-ILO, then OAS, UNDP, UN Habitat, and World Bank. So all these members are part of the network, and now how the network functions in practice, or how it is it structured. So the core of the network are its expert groups. Expert groups work on different thematic areas. We will touch that a little bit later. Then all the active members gather annually at the meeting. This year, the meeting will be held in Rome from June 16 to 18. It will be hosted by FAO, so Food and Agriculture Organization, and it will be co-organized by a French development agency. And the topic of the meeting will be innovations in learning and learning technologies. So responsibility for organization of the annual meeting is on the core group, which is another part in this structure of the network. And in addition to organization of the annual meeting, the core group also supports communication of the networks and work of the expert groups. And now to go to the expert groups. So, as mentioned, expert groups are the essence of the Learn for Dev network, and they're composed out of representative of member organizations. They work on different thematic areas. Currently, there are 11 expert groups that are active. These are they work on the topic areas of capacity development, decentralization and local governance, effective electoral assistance, environment and climate change, fragility and crisis management, gender, knowledge management and sharing, managing for development results, organizational learning. You can see all this on the slide, which is print screen of the web page. Then political economy for practitioners and public financial management. So these are the 11 expert groups that different representatives of member organizations are a part of, and they cooperate on these thematic areas. So what are their actual activities? So these expert groups offer open courses, which means that existing courses of member organizations are made available to all network members, if possible under some special conditions such as lower inscription fees. Then another activity are joint learning events. These are learning programs that are developed and delivered jointly by several network members. Then expert groups also work on development of e-learning courses, and they offer methodological support and guidance, which means they work on elaboration of manuals and guidance on the development of learning programs and material. So with this presentation of the activities of the expert groups, I would conclude this first part on the presentation of the network itself. Just to sum up, Learn for Dev network enables its members, which are donor organizations, to cooperate in joint competence development and learning of their staff, with the aim to improve aid and development effectiveness. And all this is done concretely through the work of the expert groups. And also through the annual meetings, all supported by the work of the core group. Okay. I suggest we go to the second part of the presentation, which will present the digital learning opportunities of the Learn for Dev network.
Yes, please go ahead, Polola.
Okay, I wasn't sure if everything is okay from the technical side. So these digital learning opportunities are very important for the network, as network members come from all over the world. Learn for Dev has its website. And on the website, I would like to point out to two sections that are important in the context of digital learning. The first are resources. So website offers downloadable resources. Here a wide range of documents and learning material is gathered on one place, and it can be searched by areas of expertise, type of document, publication year, language. So it's quite user-friendly. This is one example of digital learning opportunity that the network offers. Then there is Learning Portal. A Learning Portal gathers online learning resources of member organizations at one place. So here you find links to mostly e-learning portals of the organizations, to the blogs of organizations. In addition to links to member organizations, some other useful online learning portals are also a part of this portal, but this can't be unfortunately seen on the screen. Then in addition to these online opportunities of member organizations, also expert groups are cooperating and offer e-learnings. For instance, at the moment, decentralization and local governance offers a course on decentralization and local governance, and it will be run from April to June for around 40 participants. Here is a mistake on the slide. Then there is Environment and Climate Change Expert Group that will run a series of webinars on green economy. It will be done through Capacity for Deaf platform, which I will also explain a little bit later what is it all about. Then Fragility and Crisis Management Expert Group will soon launch new online course on conflict sensitivity. Then Knowledge Management and Knowledge Sharing Expert Group is currently working on e-learning course on the capitalization of experience, and here the Food and Agriculture Organization is taking the lead. And Capacity Development Expert Group will be offering e-learning on capacity development in April for around 20 participants. So this is currently going on in the area of online learning of the Learn for Deaf expert groups. And now I would like to point out to the Capacity for Deaf platform, which I mentioned already. This platform is run by European Commission, and the network is Learn for Deaf network is using this platform for its internal communication. So on this platform, the network has its separate page, and members are exchanging internal resources and useful documents here. So the things that are not that cannot be put on the web page under the downloadable resources and should be kept internal can be shared in this platform. Very recently, we also launched a Twitter account of the Learn for Deaf, and we share here useful information from the expert group, thematic areas, and information related to the network. So these are actually all digital learning related opportunities of the Learn for Deaf network. So it came to an end of what I wanted to present to you. Thank you very much for your attention, and now we can probably go to the questions.
Thanks very much, Polona, for an interesting presentation. The first question we have is whether Learn for Deaf is an independent institution, a private entity, a foundation, or what sort of form it takes?
Actually, it's network, informal network, and its members are participating in the network on a voluntary basis. So member organizations, through their representatives, are a part of this network on a voluntary basis. So two members organizations each year organize annual meeting, and this is their contribution. This year, for instance, is FAO, so Food and Agriculture Organization, and French Development Agency. They are organizing the meeting together, and this is their contribution. Last year, for instance, the meeting was organized by European Commission, Europe 8, and DFID, which is British development agency, so development for international. Just a second. So it's British development agency. So yeah, it's an informal network where its members contribute voluntarily.
Okay, we have a number of questions about the courses themselves as well. We have a question about if it's open for everybody to register, and another question about what languages you offer the courses in.
English language, while the e-learning course on capitalization of experiences that is developed by knowledge management, knowledge sharing expert group, where FAO is taking the lead. That e-learning course will be also available in French and Arabic, but I'm not sure how far this already is. This is the translation of the materials, so this is something that I would have to check. But otherwise, the learnings are offered in English. As far as the participation at the courses is concerned, it's open for Learn for Deaf member organizations. But if there is some individual interest, I suppose it would be best to check with the expert group leader what are the opportunities to join.
And we have actually a specific question about the registration for the June session, if you have that information at hand.
Excuse me, I'm not sure I understood. Somebody would like to attend, or?
Yes, so LZ is asking who can attend the June session. Are members invited?
The June session is intended for members of the network. So when talking about members, these are representative of member organizations. Also in the past, some members, some participants came from observer institutions, but each year organizers sent out invitation to the annual meeting. So if interested, I would suggest that just maybe put it in email, and then the organizers can decide how to go about it with the invitation.
Thank you. Heather is asking if we could have a little more information on how expert groups are organized. And others would like to ask you, having let's say, a physical network which actually meets, and then an online network that I imagine meets in between, how do you coordinate these two, and do you have any best practices to share?
Regarding the expert groups, it is foreseen that at least 3 representatives of at least 3 different member organizations are part of the expert group, which means that at least 3 of them should express interest, at least 3 organizations should express interest to work on a common challenge, thematic challenge, so, or more. This is regarding the membership of the expert groups. As far as the thematic areas that expert groups are covering, this depends on here where the network tries to be flexible. So if there is a new challenge that members recognize, that members came up with, then why not working on that challenge together and try to find the certain solution. So here is flexibility as far as the topics are concerned, whereas as far as membership is concerned, it's at least three member organizations should be part. And for the network question, how are we coordinating activities? Did I understand you correctly?
Yes, Ari, the question was just that you have a physical network of people and you also have an online network of people. And we were wondering how you coordinate the two and keep discussion flowing between the two parts.
Actually, this is not separate. This is, I would say, goes hand in hand. The network is not actually, when talking about, I would say that network members just meet either, in physically, so face-to-face, or on face-to-face learning events, or on online learning events. So this goes kind of hand in hand, yeah. And the expert group members are the ones that and expert group leaders are the ones that coordinated these meetings. I'm not sure I answered well your question.
Yes, that answers it fine. I'm just saying that it seems that we have exhausted the questions of our participants, and we are finishing exactly on time. So what remains is for me to thank you very, very much for your contribution. I remind everybody that the recording of the presentation will be online later, and that our next presentation will be Dr. Nicola Pallet and Irene Marrow presenting Emerge Africa, Digital Learning in Africa. That will be coming on at 12 Universal Time. Thank you for your participation and see you all in about 30 minutes.
Thank you.